Oh, good morning to you at 6 o'clock this morning. You are looking live in Broadripple. I don't know if he is watching us, but he surely is tall enough to see everybody. That is that 30-foot LED sculpture named Gavin Divergence, I believe, in the Broadripple neighborhood. I know a lot of neighbors were vocal about this, but it is at least a nice bright spot for you at 6 o'clock on your Thursday morning. Even if you didn't want a bright spot, you wake up and see that beacon of light staring back at you.
And Gavin's head is in a little bit of cloud coverage this morning because we had it yesterday. It's kind of carried over in today and still chilly, and we don't really get much warmer or warmer at all after today. No. It looks like, Matt.
If someone was watching, I don't know if you'd see him.
Yeah. No.
It's a little tough to see at times.
Only he would see it that tall, because it is pretty thick out there, that fog in the downtown Indy area especially.
So same forecast as yesterday. The only difference that you need to know about is there's probably going to be more mist today. So it's not as if it's going to rain heavily or something, but as you're trying to figure out what speed to put your windshield wipers on, there's not a speed for it. If there was, it'd probably just swoosh every 2 minutes or so, and that's maybe what you'll have to do. Maybe you just got to do it manually today. This is what it kind of looks like area-wide. This is at I-69 and State Road 13. You go north into LaPel or south into Fortville. You can see as you're driving, but the clouds are low and you can definitely see that fog lurking out there. In some of our more rural counties, though, it is a bit thicker, so watch out for that this morning. But right now, it is a cool and gray and kind of misty start. We kind of cut some of the skyscrapers in half. You know, it seems like every time we check this camera, a couple more stories are then covered by some of these low clouds out there this morning. And in fact, they're about 100 feet lower than yesterday. And I know that doesn't sound like much, but that does increase your chance for some mist. We've got some mist in Indianapolis right now. You may have some patchy mist and drizzle throughout the day today as well. We're starting off in the 40s, and for many of us, you may just stay in the 40s again like yesterday. But there is some patchy fog. We're down to 2-mile visibility there in Richmond and Newcastle, Bloomington, Bedford, Seymour, down to 2 in Greencastle, and down to 3 right now in Zionsville. So we'll be watching this fog as it continues to come on in. We'll let you know when we think more rain is going to come back to Indiana here shortly.
And now we want to get to some breaking news that we've been following for the last 30 minutes. This is in Hamilton County. INDOT confirming there is a fatal crash. Now, this is kind of out in the middle of nowhere. US 31 and 256th Street. It's near the town of Arcadia. Matt, I know you've been checking alternative routes, and because this is so rural, that might be difficult.
To kind of put this in perspective, if you know where that Wilson's Farm Market is, that's at East 256th Street. I mean, so we're far northern Hamilton County. I wanted to show you the map this morning to give you an idea of what you could possibly do to get around it. And the lane changes and closures will constantly be adjusting as crews are working on this crash and responding. Here is US 31, so between State Road 28 south all the way past East 256th Street. We've got lane closures. All the southbound lanes are closed. In the northbound direction, we have 1 lane closed. If you want to get around this, you may use State Road 28, get to Tipton, and then take State Road 19 all the way to Morse or Cicero, then cross back over the lake and hit back at US 31. Julie, as of right now, there are no other crashes to speak of.
Okay, thank you. Well, this morning, important news for parents and grandparents. One of the world's most popular gaming platforms for kids is at the center of a new federal lawsuit.
You've probably heard of Roblox, parents, and a lawsuit, though, you may not have heard of, claims that the game allowed a predator to groom and exploit an 11-year-old girl from Johnson County. Anna Chalker is in studio this morning after looking into this lawsuit. What does it say, Anna?
Well, ladies, it is a long one, 80 pages long. This is it right here. And it's not only really focusing on that specific family and what they say happened to their daughter, but it also lists hundreds of other lawsuits claiming Roblox enables sexual predators to connect with and abuse children. The family's lawyer claims when Jane Doe was 10, she came in contact with a man on Roblox who convinced her to exchange phone numbers. It eventually led to explicit messages, with the man even asking the girl to undress over a video chat. Now, if you do not know what Roblox is or even have kids, it allows users to create avatars and other mini games, and you can invite people to them and also message with them. Some of the accounts listed in this lawsuit include games called Escape to Epstein Island and around 600 centered around Sean Diddy Combs. The Johnson County family says even though Roblox is so popular among kids, the creators are not taking the right measures to protect them.
They're basically telling you this is a safe place to leave your kid unattended while you go make dinner. Don't worry about it. This is a safe place. We have the highest security possible out there.
Next month, a federal panel will review this lawsuit to see if it should be grouped with almost 24 similar cases. That decision would determine if they proceed together as a single class action. And the company is saying they do have the right steps and they want to make sure safety is top priority with these kids who are signing up to be in these games. So coming up, we'll show you the new features they've unveiled really in the last week, but also the things, if you're a parent, if you're a grandparent, you need to look into those very teeny tiny things. And that includes getting into this app and actually looking at it.
And with 24 other cases you said that are similar to this, parents, you're not the only one that should have these concerns and not the only one that your kids can fall victim. Thank you, Anna.
Well, Indiana National Guard troops, they're actually headed to Washington, D.C. They'll be helping address the crime in Washington.
This is at the request of the D.C. National Guard. So some 300 Indiana soldiers from units in Gary and Bloomington are headed there in December. President Trump first mobilized National Guard units in August, saying that military help was essential to address a crime emergency in the nation's capital.
Governor Braun authorized this mission. They'll be there about 4 months.
Let's head out to Broadripple this morning. They're in the spotlight as early ideas for possible revitalizations are starting to take shape.
So nothing is set in stone, but leaders would like to hear from residents who live in that area to help really shape what that neighborhood could look like. Our Marina Silva is in Broadripple this morning with a look at some of those ideas that people are talking about so far. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. Well, if you're living in Broadripple, your neighbors want you to dream big on what the future of the village could become. This is all part of the 2026 Master Development Plan. Neighbors and business owners are teaming up to brainstorm possibilities. Nothing's decided yet. They gathered at Broadripple Middle School last night for the second of 4 meetings designed to brainstorm. Attendees said they want to preserve Broadripple's character while addressing concerns about cleanliness, safety, and the overall feel of the commercial district.
We believe we're a magnet to stay in Marion County, to stay in Indianapolis. And again, people have dollars to spend. They're not spending them here because it's not as safe, it's not as walkable, it's not as clean as they'd like. Now, the data will tell you that it is a safe village. However, data doesn't make people feel comfortable.
Neighbors admitted that some of the things they want to do could be challenging, but they're willing to tackle it. Now, if you weren't able to attend last night, you still have some chances to weigh in. So like I said, that was the second of 4 meetings. So there's another one coming up in January that you can attend and give your thoughts on what could happen here in Broadripple. We'll send it back to you guys in studio.
Thank you, Marina. It's 6:07. An Indianapolis man goes on trial next year in connection to a deadly shooting in Fishers.
Caleb Weiss is now charged with murder in a 2024 shooting that happened outside of a home on Apple Blossom Circle. Weiss is in the hospital right now following a chase and shooting that involved police during his arrest.
Well, funeral services are tomorrow for Corporal Blake Reynolds. He's the Delaware County deputy that was killed in a crash last week on I-69 North. Well, now a new report reveals what a witness saw moments before that deadly crash. And the report, investigators say that a witness told them the truck with the Prairie Farms trailer was, quote, out of control as it hit the other semi, which was stopped on the interstate. You can see the 2 cars and that deputy's car that were involved in this deadly crash. The driver of the stopped semi told police that it was black ice that caused him to slide off the road and that deputy was trying to help him. The report also states that Corporal Reynolds was taking pictures of the damage to that stopped truck when its trailer hit him. The services are set for Friday and Saturday. We have details for both days on WTHR.com.
Friday, the governor is ordering flags at the State House and state facilities in Clinton County to be lowered to half staff. It's, of course, in honor of National Guardsman Terry Fry, who died in a crash last week. According to his obituary, Sergeant Fry used to live in Frankfort, and that's where he'll be laid to rest. The 23-year-old was in a Humvee when it flipped on I-65 in Boone County. 3 other guardsmen were also injured.
Another state senator is now a victim of swatting. That's when a fake call sends out a SWAT team to their home. This time it was Republican Senator Dan Durnell confirming that report.
Senator Durnell has not publicly stated his position on redistricting, which has been really a national topic. He does represent Highland in northern Indiana. Senator Durnell says he's grateful law enforcement quickly recognized this was a false report.
Well, a statement from the state senator says, in part, it's sad because of these efforts and work that I am villainized in some minds to the point of harmful retaliation. Threats to the public officials cannot and should not be the norm. I hope to see justice for this illegal behavior.
You recall a similar situation played out last weekend in Vigo County. State Senator Greg Good told sheriff deputies that when police showed up after they got a false report of an emergency at his home.
Well, small businesses employ about half of the state's workforce, more than 1.2 million Hoosiers.
And this year, Governor Braun created the state's first ever Office of Entrepreneurship and Innovation to support those small businesses. The governor highlighted Power Up Indiana, a new initiative that incentivizes employers to upskill, retrain, and promote workers. There's also a Start Ed, which is focusing on this as well. Here's what he had to say.
We've got one of the best environments for small business in the country, yet we have some of the fewest startups. So that's a disconnect. That means that through our educational systems, we're not emphasizing it enough. Now there's going to be a focus on entrepreneurship like we've never seen before.
He's talking about a program called Start It Up, and as he said, it focuses on building entrepreneurship skills in young people, and it's already reached more than 13,000 Indiana students this year. Now, Indiana has nearly 600,000 small businesses that make up almost 99% of all businesses in the state.
Governor Braun also talked about that redistricting that's been talked about in full conversation with our Dustin Grove. You can see that right now streaming on WTHR+.
New economic data is set to be released today. We'll tell you how it might influence what you pay to borrow money.